Should you get a professional grade, professionally installed ceramic coating?
I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is the DIY Detail Podcast. To answer the first question, yes, you definitely want a professional grade coating. There's no questions about it. You want a professional grade coating, and the 3, 5, and 8 year DIY detail coatings are 100% professional grade.
Now, it's the elephant in the room, which is, well, what are they saying? They're selling product. It's obviously going to be a conflict of interest. We're going to address that first, that of course we sell products. Of course we sell these coatings. We're very proud of them. But if I'm talking to my dad, a friend, a college buddy who just got his Porsche, whatever it is that you are or have or are addressing in the period of your life where you're trying to offer good advice, this is for you.
Exactly.
So we'll step away from our DIY detail roles and just talk about ceramic coating, whether you should get one installed by a pro, and what you should look for.
Right. So first of all, you want a professional grade coating. We've established that. We know that. And ours are professional grade coatings. But the installation process of a coating, while it's super easy, the prep process to get to that installation point requires a bit of work, requires a bit of effort, and requires some knowledge. Now, if you have a brand new car that's never been driven, never been washed, all you have to do is wash it, panel prep, and you can apply the coating. It's that simple. But if your car has a couple thousand miles on it, you may have accidentally taken it through a car wash, it's been washed at the dealership, whatever, it has some love marks on it that you're not happy with, and you need to polish the car. Well, if you don't have any of that apparatus, you don't have a polisher, you don't have pads, you don't have polish, you don't have the pad washer, you don't have all these items, then it might be even more economical for you to go to a professional to have your coating installed.
Yeah, there are a lot of items that you purchase along the way as a professional for a reason.
Right.
And it doesn't mean you have to have $20,000 worth of tools in your toolkit to get this done.
Exactly.
But when it comes to a nice polisher, when it comes to pads, polish, hundreds of hours behind a buffer to kind of know what you're looking at. I mean, the car is your second most expensive investment in your life.
Right.
On average, statistically speaking.
Yeah.
So essentially, yes, this is totally doable, but you don't want to mess it up. And so there's just some things a look in the mirror will kind of tell you, do I want to spend the time? Do I know what I'm doing?
Right.
And do I have maybe some extra money around that I could hire somebody who does?
Exactly.
What kind of car is this? Is this my dream car? Maybe the Honda Accord is your dream car, right? Or it's the Lamborghini, right? You can do this yourself. It's just the prep work is all about experience. The professionals are going to get the prep work right, whereas you may or may not know what you're doing.
Right. Now, if you watch all our videos, you probably know what you're doing. But that being said, if you're only going to be doing one car every 2, 3, 4 years, whenever you trade cars in, then is it worth that investment into the machinery, the tools, and all that to do it? And the professional has all of that. One example is I've coated a car in someone's garage for them. The lighting was so bad that I was using flashlights, headlights, all of that just to be able to see the car. If you're doing it in your garage and you just have that one light bulb over top, it's probably not the best setting to be installing a coating.
Even what do I sit on?
Exactly.
Is it a folding chair? Do I have a creeper roller?
Right.
Do I have a shop chair? You don't think about this stuff, but if you add up all the things that are going to make this an enjoyable process, and you know this if you've tried to set up a detail shop, which I did recently, it was man, I could really use a shop chair, but it's I could use a shop chair, I could use more lighting, I could use this, I could use that.
Yeah.
Right, the list goes on, and at home, you just might not have the stuff that's gonna make this as enjoyable as you think.
Right.
Again, because it's ceramic coating bonds to your clear coat, it's a huge, important part of the lifespan of your vehicle.
Exactly. Now, on the flip side of that.
Right, we're selling products to DIYers, so we wanna encourage you that it's totally doable, but I'm just giving you if you're my dad, it's do you have a lot of scratches in your paint?
Exactly.
Do you want those scratches gone?
Yeah.
Because that's where a pro is probably more able to do that. If you want mirror shine paint, if you want to go past the Ivan method and wet sand and compound and polish, I wouldn't try that if you've never done it before on your own car.
Right. That being said, we're here for the do-it-yourselfer as well as the professional.
Right.
And for the do-it-yourselfer side of things, All of this is 100% doable. You need to practice, you need to have the right mindset, and also the right equipment. So if you're willing to make that investment in good lighting, a shop stool, maybe a pressure washer, all the prep products, the polisher, all of that, then yes, go for it. But know going in that the bottle of coating that's $100, there's a lot more that goes with that in order to get that coating on your car.
It's complicated and it's easy at the same time.
Right.
Right. Remember, like
the actual coating application is probably the easiest part of all of this. The actual laying down of the ceramic coating on the paint is super easy. Anyone can do that part. It's getting up to that point, getting ready for that point. That's where it becomes, do I invest the money in buying all of this stuff, or do I hire a professional that already has all this stuff and go from there?
You don't need a foam cannon.
Yeah.
You don't need a pressure washer. I'm just thinking, how could I do this bare bones, right? If I had a garden hose, what would I do? I'd pre-treat the vehicle with All Clean.
Right.
We sell All Clean in a bottle. You can get it in the concentrate and dilute it down. No special equipment needed there.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'd flush the paint again. At that point, I could put some more All Clean on the wheels. I could use a microfiber towel to clean the wheel faces. A barrel brush would be great if you could get one, right? A tire brush, right? Get in the wheel wells. Maybe I'd flush the paint again. I'd pre-treat it with rinseless wash, right? That requires no equipment, just a sprayer. I'd rinse it again. Then I'd do my rinseless wash, so maybe the legacy sponge, a bucket, a grit guard.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, I'd do that. Then I'd spray some iron remover on there with our clay towel, and I'd clay the paint. Then I'd rinse it. So, okay, you had a clay towel, a rinseless wash sponge, a bucket. I'm doing okay so far.
Yeah.
And after I'd done that, now it's time to polish, right? So you need some kind of polisher, and our gold waffle and our gold standard polish. Again, very doable. We've shown you how to do it with a palm sander.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that you might already have.
Exactly, or whatever polisher you have. And a nice one step where you're just trying to shine the paint up, remove oxidation, not going after deep scratches. Wipe that off, use panel prep, and coat. So it's not that involved if you want to make it that simple.
Right.
But you can make it as detailed and down the rabbit hole as you want.
Yeah, some people spend a lot of money preparing for this ceramic coating. Some people wash the car and apply the ceramic coating. Probably not the best way of doing it. I can tell you it's not the best way. Do you have to polish your paint before? No. Is it best to polish the paint before? Yes. The polishing is actually a deep cleaning step. Even if you're happy with the condition of your paint, it looks great to you, and there might be a little scratch here and there, but you're not worried about that because you know you have kids, you go through life, you park it in a parking lot, it's gonna get scratched again. You're not worried about the scratches. To you, your paint is perfect. I still suggest polishing for that deep cleaning. That will allow the coating to bond the best.
Even speaking of deep cleaning, you might have missed a bug gut on the front bumper.
Right.
And just by putting a polisher on that bumper, I'm not saying this is what you're supposed to do to get bug guts.
No.
But you're shaving things that you might have missed off the paint.
Right.
You know, and you just kind of clean your pad as often as you can.
Yeah.
But little things like that, right? Like an etched bug gut that's not quite etched on front, headlight that you might have missed, right?
Exactly.
Just that white residue just kind of shaves it off with the polisher. So little things like that really can be beneficial when you're polishing, and that's like a benefit of that step.
Exactly.
But professional grade, I mean, all of our coatings now have that 5-minute open time.
Right.
Where you install it, you have 5 minutes to wipe it off. It actually gets easier the closer you get to that 5 minutes.
Right, exactly.
And so install the 8-year on your new car. Install the 5-year if you'd like to see insane gloss of that 5-year.
Yeah.
And the graphene 3-year coating is so slick.
Exactly.
I love it as well. So it's one of those, we encourage you to do it yourself, but if you're hearing any of this and thinking, you know what, maybe I'd rather hire a pro. There's a lot of pros who are installing our coatings as well.
Exactly.
I mean, they're that good. So detailing is both all the way down the rabbit hole and also very simple at the same time. I was on that You Auto Know radio show in Baltimore, and the host was asking me, and I was like, well, it really is not that hard. And then he talks to Mike, who's the local detailer there, and he's like, well, Mike, you always say it's like rocket science.
Yeah. And it can be.
Yeah.
Some people approach it as rocket science, other people don't. And the end goal is for you to be satisfied with your vehicle. And if you're a professional detailer, the end goal is not for you to be satisfied with the vehicle, but it's for your customer to be satisfied with the vehicle. So do what the customer needs, not what your ego needs. And that's another rabbit hole we'll go down another day.
One more thought.
Yeah.
If you don't do the greatest job on the prep process, let's say you wash the car.
Right.
You don't even clay the car. You wipe some panel prep on it.
Yeah.
And you apply the coating.
Right.
It's still gonna last a long time.
It's still gonna last a long time, but not as well. It's not gonna perform as well as it can because you need, once again, can't stress this enough, clean, pristine paint. It needs to be clean. It needs to be no grease, no oils, no contamination. Does it need to be scratch-free? No. That really doesn't matter. Your coating will actually perform better on a slightly abraded surface because now it has more area to bite into. Does it look good? No. So we want, a nice clean polished surface. That being said, a coating requires clean paint, nothing else.
Right. And so that's just a little encouraging message there at the end.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have to be perfect.
No.
It'll be all right either way, but if you're installing a coating, it's because you want to establish a deep foundation that's going to perform for years to come. That's why we set it up to be the most durable by cleaning the paint the right way, and so it has the pores to bond into for longevity.
Exactly. With that, if you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below. We're always happy to answer. And have you subscribed yet?
If you haven't, I encourage you to do that, and then check out our podcast playlist for more great info right here.